Hey, what's happening guys, Chris here, checking out more of those Jabba Contract weapons in Star Wars Battlefront. So we've finally been hit with that Death Star DLC, which brought along a few new snazzy gadgets and guns to unlock. And this time I'm going to be going over the TL-50 Heavy Repeater, taking a look at its mechanics, features, and of course how to unlock it. So the TL-50 is a rapid firing weapon that falls into the Heavy Blaster category. It's based off the old school Imperial Heavy Repeater from Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, back from 2002. And is mainly used by Imperial soldiers. In the old game, it was designed as a projectile-based gun that fired metallic slugs instead of your typical blaster shot. Though the TL-50 in Battlefront seems to be energy-based, firing slightly different bolts to the original, as those shots aren't going to penetrate shields like a projectile shot should do. Probably just to keep things nice and fair, as giving it metallic slugs would definitely push it into OP territory. But other than being able to pepper your target in a storm of bolts from those triple barrels, the TL-50 has a secondary function which allows it to charge up its energy and launch a concussive blast. And this kind of acts like a nade launcher, detonating on impact to deal high damage to anyone near the explosion. It's a generally favourable weapon for the Imperials, down to how bloody fast it can fire, and for its suppressive crowd control capabilities, and there's no doubt that it's definitely one of the more interesting guns in Battlefront so far. But anyway, I'll cover more of the weapons mechanics and stuff later on in the guide, but before all of that, I'm going to go over how to actually unlock it. So first you're going to have to own the Death Star DLC, either with the Season Pass or standalone, then head over to Jabba for another one of those contracts. The one you're going to need this time is the Imperial Instrument contract, and once you purchase that, you'll then be tasked with another 3 assignments to go out and accomplish, and thankfully these ones are fairly easy to do and shouldn't take too long to finish up. So the first challenge requires you to get 20 kills whilst playing as an Empire soldier. And if you're having trouble getting this one, then I'd probably suggest buying a new game, as all you have to do is basically kill people with any weapon, gadget or vehicle whilst playing on the Imperial team, aka as a Stormtrooper. Very easy to do, super straightforward, let's move on. For the second task, you're going to need to get 75 Heavy Blaster kills. Once again, this one's pretty simple, a little bit grindy, but still easy nevertheless. Just equip a heavy blaster like the T-21, DLT-19 or RT-97C and blast away 75 people over a few matches, and then you'll have another task done and dusted. You can hop into any game mode that features infantry combat, just use a heavy blaster to rack up those kills one by one. And last of all, you're going to need to win a match of Battle Station. The Death Star DLC is exclusive game mode, and if you've been playing the DLC, then this one should come naturally along with the other two. You can be in either team for this to count, and so long as your team wins a match, you'll have this one in the bag. My best advice for cutting down time to unlock the TL-50 as fast as possible would to be play games of Battle Station and obviously try and win, to cross off the last assignment. Whilst doing that, on the parts inside the Death Star, use Heavy Blaster to get kills to contribute to the second task, and whenever you're playing as the Empire, you'll automatically complete the first task in both the space combat and infantry sections by getting kills, whilst on the Imperial team. Once you've done both the first and last challenges, then you'll probably just need to get a few more kills with heavy blasters to finish the contract. So just jump into a few blast matches or Walker Assault on normal playlists and clean up those remaining kills to cross off the Imperial Instrument contract once and for all, and get your hands on that brand new weapon. So the TL-50 Heavy Repeater can only be described as an intergalactic hosepipe of death, as it basically sprays out shots extremely quickly. Despite firing at a rapid rate, it's also surprisingly accurate and can even hold its damage output over longer distances, with its range being on the stronger side. Though with that said, its damage isn't all that high in the first place, as it's going to take quite a few shots to land on target to actually put someone down. But because of that speedy fire rate, so long as you can keep your aim on point, the TL-50 will be able to kill them very quickly, and because it can perform well at longer distances, with both decent range and accuracy, this means that the gun isn't restricted to CQC scenarios like most other fast firing weapons, and can actually hold its own at medium to longer distances too. The cooldown on the weapon is manageable so long as you don't go too trigger happy, though it's best to keep your eye on it most of the time, as it can be easy to forget about the cooldown when you're in the moment and decide to go full Rambo. But generally it's best to fire full auto at closer ranges to get as many shots onto your enemy as quickly as you can, though at medium to longer distances you might be best tap firing the gun in short bursts, just to help stay accurate and get those shots to land, shooting slightly in front of a moving target to allow for the minor travel time of those bolts. Now the TL-50 functions quite differently to most other weapons in Battlefront, as in the fact that you can't aim down sights, so if you plan on using it, you're gonna have to get used to firing from the hip if you don't already. This can also be a helpful factor though, as hip firing is usually always the better option for most weapons anyway, unless you need a bit of extra zoom to hit someone further away. But even though the TL-50 has a pretty good range, this lack of optics might deter some players from using the gun over long distance. The reason why there isn't any ADS is because, well, that button is now reserved for something completely different. By holding down that usual aim down sight button, you'll now begin to charge up a concussive blast, which will launch through the air in an arc to blow up anyone close by as it lands, or hits a solid surface. The blast can be enough to kill an enemy straight away if they're close to the explosion, and that splash damage can wipe away quite a lot of health too, meaning you can use it against multiple opponents at once. It's not exactly a huge explosion, but it's definitely enough to cause some serious damage. The secondary option can be a risk-reward choice at times, as not only do you need to charge it up fully first before you can fire it off, but it's going to also instantly deplete the weapon's charge too, activating that cooldown period and temporarily leaving you a bit vulnerable. But so long as you're in a safe place, in cover or out of enemy sight lines, you can charge up the blast and fling it at someone as soon as you exit cover or acquire a target. Movement speed is reduced whilst charging it up, so keep this in mind as you won't be able to quickly strafe behind cover if an opponent starts to open fire on you. And be sure to aim slightly above an enemy's head to allow for the bomb to arc through the air and land on target. It's usually most effective in narrow rooms, areas with lots of enemy players, and on people holding down objective points or at choke points. Plus it can also be very effective when fired downwards at the floor near enemies, if you're on a platform or hill high up. It's a great option to use to destroy active pickups like stationary turrets and attack droids, and can be very powerful against shields and vehicles too. Though it is worth pointing out that you can kill yourself with the explosion if you fire it too close. So as for a few star card options, because the TL-50 is reliable across most ranges, you can be pretty flexible here and pick your favourites without the need to really cater for the gun's weaknesses. For charged star cards, the explosive shot will be a suitable option to boost your firepower and deal splash damage for your primary fire. Though focus fire might also help to group shots closer together to kill targets running around in the distance more easily too. Though apart from the star card, there is a specific trait card that works really well with this gun. Because you'll be firing from the hip most of the time, the Berserker trait seems like a perfect match with the TL-50, down to the added bonus of damage whilst hip firing. This is going to help you out in the damage department, as level 1 will boost it by 15%, level 2 by 30%, all the way up to 50% at level 3. Allowing you to drop targets even easier as you advance through those trait levels, turning the gun into an absolute monster by cranking that damage right up. And with the combination of a rapid fire, high damage, decent accuracy and good range, you'll be able to tear through your enemies before they even know about it. So all in all, the TL-50 is a strong weapon for quickly dispatching your enemies over pretty much any range, and it's perfect for finishing off weakened opponents and clearing up areas. Its damage is fairly low, but that fire rate definitely makes up for it, and providing you're quick to the trigger and can aim where you need to, the TL-50 is going to have your back most of the time, letting you mow down anyone that steps in your sight lines. So that's it for this one folks, drop us a like if you enjoyed the guide and be sure to subscribe for plenty more. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.